Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Stanley Cup playoffs picks with Trey and Trevor on Texas Sports TV. With more than just Texas Sports right now. Yeah. We're going to start just like always in the NHL Eastern Conference. Why? Because whenever I looked up those logos, the Eastern Conference was the first one to pop up.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first game is going to be between Trevor's team, who actually made it past the first round, versus the Boston Bruins, which is another Boston team in the playoffs that looks like they have a good chance of winning right now. So just whatever. Well, I'll let Trevor talk a little bit about this before our little quick recap if he wants, because this is his team.
Well, you want me to talk about the teams themselves or what I think will happen?
Well, what we think will happen is a little later.
Okay.
Just like more a little recap about the little team before we go into the whole injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, Columbus 1-5. They had 9 days of rest before Game 1. We're recording this on Saturday morning, so one game has been played in each series so far. So Boston is currently up 1-0 in the series with a 3-2 overtime win on Thursday night. But something that I was concerned about, a lot of people was the rest factor, because Columbus had 9 days of rest and Boston had 2 days of rest after a 7-game series. So there was a rust factor with Columbus that definitely showed. The first 15 minutes of the game, they were terrible. That everyone except Bobrovsky was awful the first 15 minutes, and Bobrovsky's the only reason this game wasn't like 5-0 after the first period. He really stood on his head for them while they got their legs back under him.
So, I made this power slide a little. I made this power slide before Game 1. So, when we go to the Columbus Blue Jackets, we see their 47 wins, 31 losses, and 4 overtime losses, with their 98 points, getting so close to 100 points. What we see is against the Bruins, I see this as a little bit interesting. They went 1-1-1. Like I said, that's just pretty interesting to me. I don't think I've seen any other team have like a perfect split like that. Did Adam McQuaid play in Game 1?
No, he probably has at least a couple more days to go before he would possibly play, but at this point, I'm not even sure if he would be the one to draw into the lineup once he is healthy. There's still no indication on Murray. He has skated a couple times, but hasn't had any kind of contact or anything like that. It's just been pure skating. And then Nudavara, I just read a little bit ago on Twitter that he actually came out for their morning skate today. So it's definitely a possibility he could play tonight.
So for the Boston Bruins, they are over 100 points. They got 107 with 49 wins, 24 losses, and 9 overtime losses. They got 2-0-1 against the Blue Jackets. They lost once in overtime and won 2 games. One in overtime and one in regular time. Regulation. There we go. That sounds better than regular time.
Mm-hmm.
Two other injuries. I really didn't watch any of the game ones, partially because I was busy. Another part because I really wasn't feeling well the last few days. I don't know if my voice sounds any better from my last video, but yeah, I really wasn't feeling well, so I didn't really do much watching. I didn't do much. I didn't even do any video updates on the Astros like I started to do. So there's that.
Yeah.
So do you know if any of these players played in game one or not?
I don't think either played in game one. I'm not sure, but Clifton, per a Bruins reporter, Clifton looks like he'll be playing on the third D pairing tonight. At least that was their lines in the morning skate. And Kevin Miller is not in these lines, so I'm not sure if he is still hurt or if he's just a healthy scratch.
So, with this recap, whenever before the series started, I picked the Boston Bruins to win in six. From what he said, I think he said the Blue Jackets lost him, so the Bruins are leading the series 1-0 right now. As at the time of recording, I'm going to try to upload this before Game 2 but at the time of recording, the Boston Bruins are leading 1-0. So either one of us could be right because none of us picked the sweep at all. So which is why we're still recording this. This is all our picks were made before this series. We're not changing them based on game one at all. None of us picked sweeps. So I don't know if you'll believe us. Just that's true though.
Yeah, I think my pick would kind of give some evidence that we aren't changing because I picked Columbus in 6. So, I mean, it's certainly still a very good possibility, but, you know, winning 4 or 5 isn't any easy task. So,
no, it's so this is what we picked. I picked Bruins partially because they won the regular series, which doesn't really mean anything because the Jackets beat the Lightning despite that. But the other reason is because the Jackets are Trevor's team, and I got to pick against them.
mm-hmm.
Those are the laws of the playoffs. And so the next game or next series is really going to be that we're going to talk about the last one in the East, because I think it's 2 in the East and 2 in the West, right? Because it was 4 and they got knocked out. Yeah, 2 in the East, 2 in the West. The Hurricanes versus the Islanders. The Islanders, I really don't know much about. And the Hurricanes, I just hear how bad they are, so I really don't want to pick them, period. But let's talk about them.
Yeah, well, currently Carolina is up 1-0 in the series with a 1-0 OT win. The game last night it had amazing goaltending by both Leonard and Mrazek on both sides. It was a goaltender's duel. The 1-0 score shows that. And so Carolina's up right now. It's not going to make me change my pick, but yeah, I think Carolina's certainly going to put up a fight here.
All right, and so the Canes. This is going to be a little bit interesting. Yeah, honestly, from the Bishop had like a shutout, I think, at one point in the season, and if I remember, it's just like a huge big deal because it's like it almost never happens. I think they were talking about how he has I don't remember the exact number, but I just remember it's number 4. I might be 4 in his series, and how that's like a big deal. So from what I can tell, Dallas Stars having a shutout is extremely rare and awesome. And so the fact that it happened in the playoffs must be even more awesome.
Yeah.
So that's like probably a big deal for the Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
They are sitting at 46-29-7 They almost got 100 points. They're at 99. They're 1 point closer than the Jackets. They are 1-1 against the Islanders. 1 win, 2 losses, and 1 overtime loss. I don't know if I didn't re-look up these injuries afterwards. So, do you know about the two guys, Verland and
I don't believe that either
the
Ferland
Russian?
or Svechnikov played in Game 1, so they're probably still in question for Game 2 on Sunday.
Okay. And so, but not much injuries for the Hurricanes, and they're not long time. They're just day to day. So, good news for the Canes fans. Islanders, on the other hand, when I looked them up, my. Okay. Three of them I can still talk about because I know for a fact from what I read, they didn't play in Game 1 because Johnny Boychuk, it looks like Boychuk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Boychuk will be. It said that he'll be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, that means he ain't playing Game 1. He ain't playing Game 2. He ain't playing. Yeah, he's gone. The other guy Tanner says he'll return at the end of May. So they're just kind of hoping that the team can make it that far.
Yeah, he'd probably be back for the Cup final if they make it there.
Yeah, and then Scott Mayfield, no, it's above him. Andrew Ladd says he's out. Like he ain't gonna be playing no more hockey until next season. Now, Scott Mayfield, not Baker Mayfield. This ain't football. He was expected to return to Game 1. Did you know if he did?
I'm not sure about him. I know that Cal Clutterbuck did play Game 1.
Clutterbuck. So that is how you say Clutter. That is how you say his last name.
Mm-hmm.
That's so odd. I'm sorry. I just find it funny. Clutterbuck. Anyway, but New York, they have quite a bit of injuries. It looks like they were hit with the injury bug late in the season, or either that or it was in the postseason. I feel bad for them, but I still think the Islanders are going to win. I picked New York in 5. New York, one of the New York teams. They have like 2 teams in every single sport. It seems like the Islanders, Rangers, Jets, Giants. You get the idea. But I picked them in 5, and Trevor has a lot more respect for the Canes. I just had less respect because I watch Urinating Tree. Y'all should watch him. It's amazing. Talk about your pick.
Yeah, these two teams are really similar. I think up and down their lineups, they're pretty close to carbon copies as far as everything except the goaltending. I think Robin Leonard is going to be better than Mrazek in this series, and so that's why I have New York in 7.
Okay. And so the next game is in the Western Conference, my conference. So if we go by anything, I'm probably going to be wrong about everything when it comes to the teams. So I'm probably pretty sure it's going to be the Blue Jackets who win and the Hurricanes who win. But that's just if we go by if it happens again. That doesn't mean it will. That's an if. And so we go to the Western Conference with my team, the Dallas Stars, who hopefully won't always be my team. Hopefully we'll get a Houston team. It looks like the Coyotes are going to move here. Versus the St. Louis Blues, who have a legacy of failure because of Urinating Tree. Now, the Stars, I know they were expected to lose. A lot of teams were expected to lose. I'm very proud of my team. Honestly, this feels like after all the division winners are out, this feels like it's anyone's game now. This is anyone can go. That's how it feels like to me. I don't know if it feels like that to everyone, but looking from the outside, with all the division winners gone, it looks like anyone can make the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's pretty open now. Boston is probably the favorite at this point because they're an original six team and they're really popular. But apart from them, pretty much everyone except San Jose is like a new blood in the playoffs recently.
Okay. So, St. Louis Blues, they barely missed the 100-point mark with 45 wins, 28 losses, and 9 overtime losses. They hit 99 points. They lost the regular season series 1-3-0 against the Stars. They seem to pick it up at the end of the season, which is why they're in the playoffs. Because Trevor, who actually watched hockey a lot closer, talked about how they were like at the bottom of the standings at the beginning, and then they just had like an amazing last final like month.
Mm-hmm.
The Stars lost like the first game of the series, and they won like the last 3, and none of the games were overtime. They won the last 3, which includes one that was, I think, the month before the final month. It was so the Stars. They did pretty good. The Dallas Stars themselves, they weren't very close to the 100 points. They were 93 points. Wait, let's go back to the Blues. I forgot. They have 2 injuries. I mean, we need to talk about the injuries. Do you know if Robert, I'm not going to say that last name, Robert joined game 1?
Yeah, Bortuzzo, him and Bloss, I have no idea if either of them played or not because this is the only game 1 that I didn't watch.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So he doesn't know about the game 1. I don't know about the game 1 really. Like I said, I was kind of sick, so I didn't really watch mini games or anything. But I sucked it up for Avengers Endgame. I had to. Now, Dallas Stars, like I said, 43 wins, 32 losses, 7 overtime losses. They went 3-1 against the Blues, and they have 4 injuries. Out of some of them I recognize, but not all. I recognize the Mark Mithot, who will be out for the remainder of the season. I recognize the name Stephen Johns because he hasn't made a single season debut at all this season, which honestly at this point I feel like he won't, even if he is healthy, because it could throw a wrench into how the Stars function, because sports are how teams communicate with each other. It's the chemistry. And then when you're in the playoffs and you just throw one random person in there that hasn't worked with the team all season, it could screw with that way too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then Martin I recognize, but the one that I don't recognize is the Maita's John Mark. That's the one I don't recognize.
Mateus Jan Mark.
Yeah, that. Jan Mark. Do you know anything about him?
No, because I didn't watch this game 1, so
Okay.
And I'm honestly, this is the one series I'm really not too intrigued about. I don't think it's going to be. I don't know. I just don't find it as entertaining as the other 3.
Okay. Well, I this is the one that I'm really interested in about because it's my team, and so I picked the Stars in 6. This time I'm picking them in 6. Not because I disrespect the Blues. I mean, other than the fact that they have a legacy of failure by urinating tree, which could mean that they're going to end up doing really well, because urinating tree is usually jinxes everything. You never want them to pick your team. But I'm still picking my team 6 because I would like to see them actually win a Stanley Cup and not just have them win the year I was born.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm picking St. Louis in 5, and I'm on track for that so far. St. Louis won game 1, 3-2. Yeah, the Bishop was excellent for Dallas playing goal in round 1, but St. Louis has a lot more offensive firepower than Nashville did, so I think they're going to break past them. And they have an excellent goalie as well.
And then the next game that we talk about is the Avalanche and the Sharks. And I guess there's some sort of, there's a dynamic there. It's not as interesting as hot and cold, but like it's frozen water and melted water, or melted ice. But, and it's not really that interesting. But they're both water. One's frozen, one's not. And so I don't have much to talk about here. I'm not interested in this. I don't really know what teams. I know what's in my conference. Like I said, I just got chopped into like hockey somewhat kind of like this year. I've been kind of out of hockey ever since the Houston Aeros left. But you know what? There's a Texas team. Why not? The San Jose Sharks, they have 46 wins, 27 losses, and 9 overtime losses. And I think they have the best point. No, that's the Boston Bruins with 107. They got 101. Okay. They're the only other one with 100 points, though. They're the one with 100 in the West. There's Boston have the one with 100 in the East.
Yeah. So, they are 3-0 against Colorado, but I don't really put much weight into that. Apart from the fact that regular season really doesn't matter that much in hockey anyway. 2 of those wins were when Colorado was in a huge slump in the middle of the year and losing to everyone. I think they lost like 16 out of 21 or something in that span. And then the other one was one of the last couple games of the year that didn't matter at all.
Do you know the first 3 if Jonas, Michael, or Joe, if any of them made it into game 1?
I don't believe any of them played game 1. Pavelski is going to miss at least a couple more games because he's got a pretty bad concussion.
Okay, yeah. From whenever I was looking at the injury stuff, I read that he was going through the protocol. Yeah, and Radim sounds Indian. Am I right?
I have no clue.
Okay, well, Radim, he's just out, so don't expect him to be back. But the other 3, they have a chance, and so it's not too bad. But that is quite a bit of injuries if they all stay out. And then the Colorado Avalanche, that's 38 wins, 30 losses, and 14 overtime losses. So they lost more games than they won, and they made the playoffs. Hockey is strange. They got 90 points. They got 0 wins, and they went 0-3-0 against the Sharks. Like, there were no overtime losses at all. So there's that. Derek was expected to be ready for game 1. Do you know if he was ready for game 1?
Yeah, Brassard played game 1, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so he's going to be playing for the rest of the series.
Yeah, Gerard and Kalmanov, I'm not sure about
okay, that. Well, Samuel was... It was unclear, and the Russian, he's expected to be out for a long period of time. It wasn't specified how long that period of time is. It's just said that he's expected to be out for an extended period of time. So just don't expect him soon, but he may have a chance to come back at some point this postseason. That's just what I got from it. It's So I picked the San Jose Sharks. I picked them to win in 6. They are an expansion from what I know, thanks to one of Urinating Tree's legacies of failure. They have a legacy of failure. He did one because, in a way, they're more of a reborn team than an expansion team. I think they were like before there was like the San Jose some other team that was like the Dolphins or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just kind of a piss poor team. But I think they're going to win this series, and I think they're going to do it in 6. Nothing against the Avalanche, and it's kind of a shot in the dark in this one because I don't know these teams at all very well. I just saw the Sharks won more in the regular season, and I guess the injuries are about the same. I don't know. It really is a shot in the dark for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I am picking Colorado in 6 games. I a little disheartened after San Jose won last night, but
Disheartened? Do you not like San Jose?
No, I'm just saying with my pick.
Oh, with your pick.
Yeah. But Colorado's been playing pretty well. They have a deadly top line, and I just don't think San Jose is going to be able to handle it.
Keep talking.
Well, that's all I had. Well,
What did you leave off at?
just my prediction with Colorado winning.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. My dogs were barking at a random kid that was outside, but they closed the window, so that ain't gonna happen no more. Oh shoot! I haven't changed my name yet, and okay, for Trey, even though it says Mania, that was my previous name. The name, my actual name is Trey, or it's the name I go by. It's not even my actual name; it's my nickname. So my YouTube name, nickname, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Neither one are really my name. When it came to correct teams, I was 2-6. I tied Trevor on that on correct teams, 2-6. When it came to number of games correct, I was 50% there. I was 4-4. Trevor is 0% at 0-8. So once again, if you didn't see the results, you can see that me and Trevor actually tied when it came to picks. And when it came to teams, I just got the lead when it came to games. And so my points total with 2 correct teams and 4 number of games was 6. I got 0 bonus points because I got no game where I picked perfectly right, making my total 6. Trevor with 2 correct teams and 0 number of games got 2 points with 0 bonus points because you can't get anything perfect when you don't get the number of games right at all. So you got 2 total points. And so I'm in the lead, probably by beginner's luck. I feel really good about winning right now, though. There's like no loser thing or winner thing. It's just, basically bragging rights. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So anything else to add, or are we ending it?
No, I don't really think I have anything to add.
Okay. Okay, then, so just like, comment, subscribe. If you want to keep an eye on how our picks are going, if you want to listen to a non-fan talk with a actual fan of hockey, because Trevor is a fan of hockey. So if you there really aren't too many YouTubers out there that I know of that do that. Subscribe to his channel. I'll link it in the description below because I think he's starting to do videos, right? You're starting to do videos describing some hockey,
Yeah,
the playoff hockey.
I don't have really a consistent schedule yet, but I'm trying to I'm trying to do like some round predictions / recaps myself.
All right. Yeah. So there's that. It's again, he doesn't have a consistent schedule. I did when I first started out. I really don't have one right now because baseball, hockey, and basketball don't really have a consistent schedule. So if they don't have a consistent schedule, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, if you know anything about those sports don't have a consistent schedule. So don't expect one from me right now. Don't expect one from him. The only thing I'm getting out consistently, so I have somewhat of a consistent schedule, are my MLB power rankings and my MLB weekly updates. I am a huge baseball fan. If you know anyone who likes baseball, have them subscribe to me.
Mm-hmm.
I will talk baseball. There's nothing else. Just like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment. Go to his channel. Subscribe to his. Like his videos. Comment on his videos. I'm actually bigger than someone. It feels so good. It's not like I'm big though. I'm only 70 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.